Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. Arsenal managed to finally win at St. James Park. 2-1 win. Gabriel steals it at the death, pretty much. And roller coaster of emotions. Arsenal start off strong for the first half an hour, then they get basically punched in the face. They go in a knockdown, and it felt like they're never going to wake up, but they somehow did. So today we're going to talk about all that, all that good stuff, of course. Today we have a debut on the channel. We have Craig on the channel. Big up, Craig. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All good, all good. Arsenal won. It's amazing feeling, to be honest. Feels weird in those terms. But yeah, people. So today we're going to talk about all that, Arsenal, everything, the game, inside and out. We're going to talk about that. So smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Leave your thoughts down in the live chat. I'm going to get to them as much as we can. But yeah, let's start this. Let's do this. So let's see how we do. Let's do it this way. What are your impressions of the game? Like the first part, like it was kind of felt like it was split in parts. What are your impressions of the game so far today?
I think the first half we opened up Newcastle. We had a lot of chances. Eze had a good couple of shots. I think Nick Pope was the best player today. The goalkeeper made some world class saves. He made a lot of saves in the first half. Eze had like three or four shots and good saves. Um, then Newcastle added the pressure. Then they went up and got a goal from you would say an error from Mascara. He's looking so good this season so far. I think he made an error giving away a corner when he could have passed it back to David Raya. I think he kicked it with his wrong foot and it went for a corner, conceded a set piece. Um, and then after that, we're chasing the game to get the winner, chasing the game. But then Newcastle finally broke in the end, and we got two rightful goals that won us the game.
Yeah, it was weird, like how that game went. Big up, coach. Big up, coach. That happens going around. You love to see it. Big up, Rasta people. Go subscribe to Rush Stocks as well. Resident United fan. Got panned by Brentford. Hey. But yeah, the game today was utterly like it was weird. It felt like we were on top of it for the first half an hour until the 34th minute when they scored. It was like it felt like we were untouchable and the goal was inevitable. We are about to score at some point, and then just one counter, one cross, 6'5" Voltemade just heads it in, and yeah, from basically it went from 100 to 0 real quick. Afterwards, it felt like we lost the third of the game. We lost confidence or something because the shoulders went down, the head went down, and it felt like nothing is going to happen because the first half ended. We never caught up to the same style, the same game. And in the second half, we were lucky not to go 2-3 nothing down early on. Like we caught life in that regard. And then obviously we somehow managed to get a goal. And of course, in the final seconds, Gabriel managed to get us the 3 points, which we were craving like, I don't know, more than anything, to be honest, because 3 years in a row we hadn't scored at St. James Park. We hadn't won there in the last 6 games, 2 wins, 4 losses, and especially in a week where Liverpool loses to Crystal Palace thanks to Eddie Nketiah, big up Eddie, and all the big teams besides Man City drop points.
Yeah,
it felt like it's gonna be another one of those because usually when our main opposition drops points, we also drop points. But for a change, we actually did good. We actually did good, and yeah. What you made of the starting 11? Were you happy with Eze in the 10 finally?
I was very happy with Eze in the 10. I think Eze, when he played at Crystal Palace, he had the free role in the 10. He can run around, do his thing, and get goals and create chances for other players in the team. So I think him playing the 10 today really impressed me there today.
Yeah, but for me, the way Eze played, the way we played the first the half an hour, that I think that's gonna be a big reference point for many Arsenal fans. I feel because that felt like sort of Arsenal we used to see in 22-23 season, something like that, more expensive. The handbrake was off, as they were saying, and everything. And Eze in those first 15-20 minutes had more shots than Odegaard has had what it feels like in last year and a half. And obviously, Odegaard's injured. We were hoping that Eze starts in the 10. For me, the big question is right now, for example, based on this game at least, I know it's only one game, but do you start Odegaard or do you start Eze? Because Odegaard is the captain technically for Arteta. He's undroppable, let's just put it that way.
Mm.
What do you think? Odegaard through the middle and Eze left, or Eze through the middle and, well, Odegaard? Tough luck for you, guy.
I honestly thought Eze should start in the 10 because I feel that he's earned it. He's played well last couple of games. And we bought an awful lot of money on him as well. And I feel that he was more creative and he's more positive. Like he doesn't play sideward passes; he always plays it forward. Like the assist he had last week for Martinelli against Man City, looked forward, played the ball over the top, and Martinelli scored. So I feel that and he scored a good goal in the cup game on Wednesday against Port Vale as well. So I feel he needs to play at 10. I thought Odegaard is fully fit. I think it's competition. That's why we've got all these new players in the team. How everyone needs to fight for their place in the team. Nobody should be guaranteed to start in this team now.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest things, because for years you could say we have had this issue that the main guys are the main guys. They have no competition and they can do what it feels like, whatever they want. They know that even if they play poorly, they're gonna still start the next week. Now there is some accountability. Somebody's breathing out their necks, and there is that hope that if you don't perform well, you're out. You're out. The next one comes in, and that is the hope, because you need that in the team. You cannot get better if you think you're safe. You need some uncertainty in your team, in your spot, and everything.
Definitely.
What you made, yeah, but what you made of the both penalty calls, both of them, for Arsenal in the first half and for against Arsenal in the second half?
I thought the first one that Nick Pope took out Gokares, took him out. I know they said he got the ball first, but he cleaned them out. Like if you I don't know if you watched the game last week, the Chelsea and Man United game at Old Trafford, when Robert Sanchez took out Brian at Burmo, and he got a straight red card. That's a similar type of challenge to what Nick Pope did to Gokares today. Gokares was through on goal. Then Newcastle made a mistake. He was through on goal. Was going to score, and then he got taken out. It should have been a penalty. But the VAR should not have ruled that chance out for a penalty. And I think the Newcastle penalty, I don't think it was a penalty, to be honest with you. Are you talking about the Gabriel one when he in the end, or
the handball? Yeah,
I don't think it was a penalty. I think it's one of them ones where you're sliding for a tackle and the ball. It didn't like he put his arm like deliberately to handball the ball. So I don't think it was a penalty, to be honest with you. And I think in a way he had to even it out. In a way, if he didn't give the Gokares penalty, he couldn't give the Newcastle penalty towards the end as well, because then it'd have been more controversy again. So I think it was fair. But I think both penalties, he didn't give the first one, so he can't give the second one. That's how I see it.
Yeah, because like I was looking the social media people, what they were saying. Like the first one, they said that technically Pope touched the ball and then caught Gyökeres, and the same thing was about Gabriel. That when the Madueke made the cross, it hit his shin and only then hit his arm. So technically it came off him. So they kind of cannot say that it actually is a deliberate kind ball. But you can also make an argument that Gabriel should not be sliding with his arms flailing around in the box, because if there isn't that touch of his shin or whatever, I think that gets given. Like I know it kind of balanced each other out. We didn't get a penalty, they didn't get a penalty, but it feels like that one touch overall. What Pope touched the ball first, then hit Gyökeres, and it hit Gabriel, then hit his arm. It kind of made that gray area where they can and cannot give the penalty. So they thought, well, we didn't give the Pope one. I'm not going to ruin the game and give also the Gabriel one. Kind of that felt it like that a bit, because that one call, either way, I think would have absolutely, well, maybe not as much our penalty because it was early on, but that Gabriel one definitely would have kind of made the game would have killed the game to some extent. I kind of feel that way. Like it's hard to say in those terms. It's hard to say, of course, but overall starting 11 was nice seeing Eze in the 10. It was fantastic. Subs also did well, most of them, let's just put it that way, which was nice to see. And for a change, for everyone who says I'm toxic and negative, props to Mikel Arteta for a change. He actually made some attacking subs, take off some defensive players, put on more attacking players. Yes, we scored a goal, then he put on Skelly for left back. It worked out technically in the end and everything, because when Skelly came on, I put out a tweet that said, well, that we're going to basically now play for a draw if we get lucky, we get a corner and basically set piece again, ole, and corner, and we'll see what's going to happen. And it paid off. It paid off in the end. But I'm very happy for Gabriel, personally, because I'm not going to lie, Gabriel had a shocking game today, at least from my point of view. The way he was playing out of position, that fouls, the tackles, seemed off. Let's just put it that way. He seemed very off. Just like Mosquera had that blunder, where he kicked it out for a corner, which resulted in the goal. I think Gabriel was also very, very shaky. It kind of felt like good redemption in those times. Yeah, so it was interesting. But now I wanna say this question, because this is what Terry Tibbs put in the chat. Big up Terry. The thing is, why only when he's under big pressure he puts out the lineup we want to see? The question, the biggest one, is, will he revert back to the same next week? What's going to happen next week? We play Olympiacos now, and then we have West Ham at home, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, West Ham at home. Olympiacos on Wednesday, and West Ham at home on Saturday, I think it is. I think we play before Liverpool. I think Liverpool playing Chelsea next week as well. So I think we played it before Chelsea play Liverpool, I think. So we played the game the day before, I think, if I remember correctly. I feel they need to keep the same team. As long as no one doesn't get injured against Olympiacos, and no one doesn't get fatigued against Olympiacos, I think they need to keep the same team. Just feel that momentum going. As I said to you before, I feel that he needs to give players who are in good form. Eze is in good form. Saka's back from an injury. I think Saka had an all right game today, but they double up on him a bit. They kind of roughed him up towards the end. So they took him off to save him for the midweek game. The subs made a big impact. Mikel Arteta had a good game coming on, scored a good header. Who else played well? Odegaard came on as well very late in the game.
Yeah,
he played more of a deep. He played more like a deep line playmaker when he came on.
It was like when Merino came on at 1-0. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those that said that nothing's gonna happen here. Like, it didn't feel like we're gonna do anything at that point. But Merino scored a goal, made it 1-1, and everything afterwards unfolded very quickly. Like left, right, penalty claims, checks, VAR, and everything. It was all over the place. Like instantly it came very. But yeah, next week we play West Ham at home at 3 p.m. on Saturday. 3 p.m. And Chelsea is straight after us, 5:30 kickoff, the same day. They play straight after us.
So we can potentially go top if we beat West Ham on Saturday, and then West Ham Liverpool.
Yeah, for a few hours at least, definitely we can go on. So put some extra pressure on them. Yeah, we definitely can put some pressure on them. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I think it also will be very dependent what we do during the week. That Olympiacos game will be
very tricky.
Very interesting. It's gonna be tricky. The last time we played Olympiacos, and still have the flashbacks of Aubameyang missing the empty net to send us through to the next round. Like, it's those tough times. But Saliba was on the bench. Arteta said that he's still nursing his ankle injury. Will he play him at some point, either Olympiacos or West Ham? Do you think he might be ready? Because for Mosquera, it might be a bit too much to certain. It feels like it could be a bit too much for certain players already. Mosquera, Gabriel, Hincapié is out, Calafiori left back, Timber right back, Ben White is back technically. We can do some mix and match type of situation going on, but how long till that's gonna happen? Whoa. West Ham have a new manager? Yeah, go.
Yeah, they got a new manager. Nuno Espirito Santo took over yesterday. They sacked Graham Potter yesterday afternoon around.
Damn.
They sacked him, yeah. So there's going to be a new manager bounce against us. So,
bloody hell.
Yeah.
Here we go. Nuno Espirito Santo. West Ham. We have lost 2 times in a row now. 2 seasons in a row at home to West Ham. Not the greatest of times.
Not the greatest of times, no.
I don't know, but it's weird. It generally is weird, but overall, how do you think? I think this is a game that we had to win.
Mm,
I think people will run with the narrative that this is Arsenal are back and this is champions mentality. But you cannot help but wonder to a certain extent it is,
mm,
because you need to win these type of games to do anything, especially at a time when your main rivals will basically have slipped. Let's just put it that way.
yeah.
Let's say it as it is. They have slipped, and
Mm,
there is something to it. Obviously, there's still more questions than answers, but I think this victory was necessary more than anything. Maybe not as much as points wise, although they are important, but more, I think, emotionally for players to get the
definitely.
confidence and improvement going
Yeah.
forwards. Like how you think about, well, how you feel about that, especially the win, how it could impact the upcoming games potentially.
I I think I think this win, if we go on and win the title this season, we'll look back to this win at Newcastle as a comeback win, because Newcastle is a very hard place to go to, and on record there, it's not been great over the last couple of seasons. It hasn't been great. So to go there and beat like a top four rival last season, who got top Champions League football last season, to go there as a statement win. It's a statement win because Newcastle are a big team. They got the money, they got some good players, and we struggled against them. So us going there and winning is a massive win. And not the way, not just the how we won, it's the way how we won as well. Smash and grab. 2 goals in the last what 6 minutes. So we needed to win today, and we got the win. Our rivals lost drop points yesterday. Liverpool dropped points. Chelsea dropped points. Um, who else could we say drop points? All the other teams that didn't win their game, just that are our top four rivals didn't win yesterday. So us winning today and puts us firmly in second, 2 points behind Liverpool, the champions. It's going into a crucial week. Because whenever we play Champions League, I always say it's a crucial week playing Champions League football because the pace and the intensity of Champions League is different from the Premier League. So you have to know how to rotate the squad, and if players are tired and whatever, just rotate players here and there and rest up for the big game at West Ham. West Ham's going to be a big game as well because it's a London derby, and London derbies are very difficult to call. I know they always say that the teams in form always seem to win, but it's not always like that because teams who are not in good form can go there and do something. They beat us last season at a free kickoff as well, West Ham last season, so we have to be wary of them. But if we do what we need to do, get the goals early, beat them, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, like that rotation, I think will be the key. How much
Mm,
and who is going to get rotated? Because as much as we have, you could say we have the depth.
mm,
Based on current injuries, we have not the ability to rotate. I would say as much as we would like to a certain extent,
mm.
because
Yeah.
Madueke is out, so Saka technically can only be rotated because of Wanyeri. Technically, he
Mm,
can play there, so he might go there. Gyökeres has to play. Maybe we can put Merino up there. Maybe, because he didn't start today. Maybe that could be the case. Replacing
mm.
Zubimendi, well, there's Norgard. That's it. Defensively,
Yeah.
maybe Skelly, and that's again, and White. And that's about it, and goalkeeping, obviously. But overall, we don't have as many rotations as we would like to have out because there are certain players out that would be very crucial. And prime examples, obviously, is Madueke and Hincapié in those terms. We,
Mm,
we need them back as soon as possible in those terms so we can actually have uh, some rotation, definitely. But yeah, it is weird one. But Premier League's table at the moment, right? It looks very, very weird, to be honest. I'm going to pull it up, and it looks hella weird at the moment. Like we are second, obviously,
mm-hmm.
but Crystal Palace are third, Spurs are fourth.
Beat. Yeah.
Yeah, Palace are unbeaten as well this season. 3 wins, 3 draws. They are under Glasner is doing some mad stuff, to be honest, with Crystal Palace, given their budget, losing some of the best players and everything seasonally as well. Like lost
Mm,
Elise, lost Eze, might lose Gehi in January or next summer. There is some
mm,
questions about Mateta as well potentially going. and everything. It's Sunderland are fifth.
I know that's surprise. But I think the manager's a very good manager because I think they beat Sheffield United in the league in the Championship playoff last season. Everyone thought Sheffield United were gonna win the playoff final. They won. They came back and won that. So I think he's a good manager. I think he brought the right players in the summer Sunderland. They brought in Premier League experience with Granit Xhaka. They brought in a lot of they brought in Degra from Brighton. So they brought in some decent Premier League players with Premier League experience, and they brought in a lot of good players to play the system that Sunderland wants to play. So they're going to be a very hard team to play against. I don't know when we got to play them, but they're teams that we have to watch out for as well when we play them. So yeah, they're doing quite well. Um, Bournemouth did well last season as well. They had a great season last season. They're very unlucky not to get European football. Man City seventh. Mm,
Chelsea, Brighton, Leeds. Like, it's not, to be honest, not that big of a difference. Like, to be honest, one win takes you from 11th to 4th. Like, just
of course,
depending on, like, if the results fall a line. Let's just put it that
yeah.
way. We play Sunderland away. We play away them on
Okay.
November the 8th. Month and a half, basically.
It's gonna be a big game.
And
Is that after the international break?
no, it's after. So basically, how November is looking kind of nuts for us. We have Burnley away, then we
Yeah.
fly to Czech Republic, to Slavia Prague, to play
Uh-huh.
them in Champions League. Then we have Sunderland away, Spurs
Ooh.
at home, Bayern at home, and Chelsea away.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, and
Um,
between Sunderland away and Spurs
mm.
at home, we have international break. It,
I don't like international break because we always seem to get players injured and out of form. Something always seems to happen on international break with us. We've very been unfortunate over the years, international breaks. So,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
always a scary thing. It's always a scary thing, the international break, knowing our history and our luck with those stuff, especially with players like Calafiori and other ones. Like, it's very on the edge. Like, it can go sour real quick. Let's just put it that way. But
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's quite nice winning a game at St. James Park. Obviously, we have talked about this, but let's just put it this way: the first half an hour, what we played and how we played. Do you see us playing that more often in the future? In the future against teams, or do you think that's just one-off time situation going on because we haven't won here and there was the pressure of the game that we must win this game because Liverpool lost?
I think we can play that kind of format, play that kind of way of football. But I think, as you said earlier in the podcast, I think Arteta needs to um, let the handbrake a bit, let players play with more freedom and let them go out there and express themselves more. Like Eze's of this world, the Saka's of this world, the Gokrez's, the Rice's, the Silva Mendy's, all these players can unlock the defenses and we can create more chances and get goals. I think we can do it. I think we need to be less cautious in certain games, especially the big games. I think the small teams will blitz them, will beat them easily. It's the hard games like the Tottenham's at home and the other teams that kind of set up in a way where we have to find a way how to unlock them. Those are the teams that we have to um find a way how to kill the game off early and then win the game, I would say.
Yeah, for me, definitely that is a big thing because for me, if we can play like we played, let's just say the first half an hour, let's just say on consistent basis, because we had
Hmm.
chances, we just didn't capitalize on them, and that was pretty much typical Arsenal. Let's just put it that way: all bark but no bite in those terms. And
Yeah.
that happened to us before with Gyökeres and without Gyökeres, who was again today quite anonymous. I'm not gonna lie, even though I still
Hmm.
believe Lascelles, it could have been a penalty the way he just rammed him to the ground by his face, literally. But that's
Mm.
a bit different story in those terms. But I think going away to certain teams, I think Arteta at home we should be playing like we played today away because we are at home
Mm.
and we should show them who is boss. Let's be real at the Emirates. But the way I think Arteta will take more cautious attitude I realize it's gonna happen and maybe a bit more against the bigger teams, 100%. But let's be real, teams like Fulham, Crystal Palace, Sunderland, even at this stage, Bournemouth, and teams like that cannot be taken too lightly away. Like we, in general, struggle against these teams like Burnleys and Southamptons and Evertons away in general, whether they have Sean
Yeah,
Dyche at the wheel, whether they have David Moyes or whoever at the wheel. But I think Arteta might be a bit more cautious in those terms. I kind of believe so because we could see a bit more than we saw against Bilbao Athletic than anything. Although I would
definitely.
love for obviously go like we did in 22-23 season, score 3-4 quick goals in the first half or first 15 minutes, and then just sit back and just see the game out. That would be the ideal scenario. But
Definitely.
it's a weird one. It definitely is a weird one. Obviously, I touched upon also on Gyökeres. What do you make of him in the first 6 games in Premier League, at least?
Um, it's a hard one because he's still settled into the Premier League. Um, I can't say settled into the Premier League. Didn't have pre-season. Um, he's getting used to his teammates and how they play. But I thought we need to play to his strengths, like give release the ball to him early. Like I thought Eze was doing that to him a lot today. But releasing the ball to him early. He's a very strong boy. He can hold the ball up. Today was a bit like Bambi on ice, so some of his finishing today was a bit poor. But I still believe that he can score goals in this Arsenal team. I
Yeah,
thought we need
well,
to, yeah,
yeah. In this Arsenal team, you should be able to score goals because if Havertz can score double-digit goals, well, last season it didn't happen because he got injured. But before, if he can score double-digit goals, and if we don't have a striker and Merino can score like 7 goals a season, if we put up there a proper striker, given how many chances we miss, and literally from like 2 to 6 yards out in general, we should be able to score goals. We should.
mm,
But
hmm
somehow, obviously, Gyökeres has how many goals? Like 5 or 4
I think
at
he's
the
got
moment in Premier
he
League.
scored he scored he scored two against Leeds,
Yeah,
one
and I
against
think he
Nottingham
scored
Forest,
once,
once
once
against
or
Forest.
yeah, three
I
goals.
think
He has three
three
goals
goals, three
in
goals,
six
yeah.
games. 3 goals in
And all
six
the
games.
and all these goals are from home. He scored all the home games so far. For the only
Yeah,
game he didn't score against was Man City. He didn't score Man City last week at home, but he scored most of his goals at home.
and against smaller teams as well.
Yeah.
Like Leeds twice and Nottingham Forest once, which means that against
Mm.
bigger teams, we need him to make an impact because those are the games where we need the wins the most. Most of the time, we can beat the smaller teams 9 times out of
Yeah.
10. Let's just put it that way. The big teams are the biggest ones because I don't want to draw to these bigger teams too much. We had 14 draws last year. We need,
Mm.
you would think that with Gyökeres coming in, we can turn those 14 draws in at least like 9, maybe even 10 wins if we're lucky.
Definitely.
Just put it that way. But somehow we need to Arteta needs to find a way to play him properly
Mm.
because yeah, it's weird because people were myself included. I'll admit I expected Gyökeres to come in, Arteta do the right thing, play attacking football, and Gyökeres by now after 6 games would be at least on 6-7 goals in the Premier League. I would have expected that, but obviously at the moment he hasn't lived up to the well, at least my expectations personally. I still
Mm.
believe that he's gonna score 18 plus goals this season in Premier League. I still
Mm.
believe so. The
Mm.
question is when it's gonna happen, because it could happen when we need it the most, or it also could happen by the time when we don't need anything from the season anymore because we either are too far ahead, which sounds very preposterous at the moment, obviously saying, or we could be too far behind where we kind of cannot even catch them up anymore. Like we need
Yeah.
those key moments. Like today, for example, would be an ideal scenario for him to score. The game against the City would be ideal for him to score, and Liverpool. Those games where we lose, draw against those teams, that would be the ideal scenario. But right now,
Mm.
it's still the smaller teams. So that is the other thing, and we'll see how that goes. Big up Tyrell. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. Hope you're excited about the Arsenal win. I saw your TikTok as well. Big up to you. But when we equalized, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we made 1-1, 84th minute, Arteta made the substitutions. He subbed on Skelly and everything. He switched around a bit more defensive. Did you think we're gonna go for the win, or did you felt like we're gonna do the usual Arsenal Arteta thing and we're gonna go for a draw? And if we get corner, we might get lucky, type of situation.
I honestly went for the win because if you
We
didn't
thought
go for the win, I thought you went for the win because if you didn't, I thought he could have taken up Gokras and put Marino up front. He could have done something different. He could have done something like that. He could have changed it around like that. I thought he went for he saw that Newcastle were tiring and they played a back front, they played a back five in the end. They took off Gordon and took off the striker, scored. I think it took off Jacob Murphy as well. So I think Newcastle went to more of a defensive formations and to kind of I think a crucial part of the game what changed the game when Livramento got injured. But Livramento was having a great game. When he came off injured, I think Saliba he clashed with Saliba and he got injured. When he came off and then they brought on Lascelles to play centre back. They had like five in the back. That's when I think the game kind of turned for us. I think it kind of we were getting chances. I think the Declan Rice assist was a very good assist across for Mikel Arteta's goal. It was a very good. It was like a whipped free kick cross. And it put round the head of Marino. That was a very good header, excellent header. Nick Pope was the save and everything. Before that moment, I would say Nick Pope was man of the match for Newcastle in the whole game. He was making save after save after save. I was thinking to myself, are we going to win this game today? Are we going to get anything out of this game today? And then as soon as Mikel Arteta came on, impact sub, got the goal, and everything changed. I think that their fans could see deja vu, just like against Liverpool a couple of weeks ago when they were winning, when they were drawing. I think they were drawing 2-2, and then they brought on the young kid Rio, and then he came on scored in the last kick of the game. So it was like deja vu for them again, just like against
yeah.
Barcelona as well in the Champions League. They were losing and then they got a last minute goal. So it goes to show that in football you should never give up. Keep on going, going, going until you get your chances and let's go and win the game. And that's what we did today. Some people I call it ugly victory, but ugly victories are the most prettiest victories, as they say. So yeah.
Yeah. Like there are times when no matter what it takes, you just have to get it over the line, like with no questions asked. No matter how you do it, how many subs, what subs you make, you just have to get it over the line. And for a change, we actually did what Liverpool have done, because for up until now, pretty much the whole season, they had won the games in the 80th plus minutes, pretty much scored the winning goal, tying winning goals. Pretty much every single game, they had scored 80 plus and 90th plus to win the game. And
Yeah.
obviously, it felt like also against Palace, it might actually happen with Chiesa scoring the goal. It felt like it
Mm.
could happen, but obviously they did felt otherwise. Let's just put it that way. And we today did the same thing. It took
Yeah.
us. We scored in 84th and 96th minute. Like we actually showed some cojones. Shout out to Troy Deeney for saying that. But there was a time in the second half where I just was watching at this game and it felt like we are not going to do anything. Literally,
Mm.
because we just were again slow, lethargic, passing sideways, backwards. It didn't feel like it gonna result into anything. Then few
Mm.
subs come in, and all of a sudden something switched. Either it's the fresh legs, either it's the fresh perspective from a different player, or something like that. But something like felt like something switched. Obviously, as much as I hate to see players injured, Libramento's injury also, I think, played a big role. Lewis Hall came on and everything. I think that also kind of ruined their plans. Let's just put it that way. It looked like he did his ACL, but it's not confirmed. In the videos, replays, it looked pretty nasty. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, something changed, and I'm happy that it did for it, actually, because usually we don't change. We stay the same when the subs get made. Usually, we
Mm.
just get some lucky goals in those terms. Um, Speaking of the players, Starting 11 came out, and the news also came out that Ethan Manieri has traveled with the squad to Newcastle, but he wasn't registered for the game. I'm caught between two minds. Why? I cannot. Either it's because of Port Vale, because he played, or has he an injury? I just cannot figure this out. How do you feel about Ranieri so far? Do you think he's getting enough minutes? Based on whole summer, this debacle regarding that he wants to sign the contract if he gets guaranteed more minutes, more play time, and all this stuff. Do you think he's going to get them? And why is he again out of the team? Let's just put it that way.
I think I think last season he got a lot of minutes when Saka got injured. But then I
Only
think
then,
towards the end of the season, I think Arteta's kind of limited his minutes. I think he was like protecting him from burnout and whatever. But one thing you got to realize, like, you don't want to overplay young players at a young age. If you look in the past, players who played overplayed, and then by the time they get to 30 or 28, 29, they're finished. I'll give you an example. Michael Owen. Michael Owen played at 16, 17 years old. And then by the time he reached 26, 27, he was not the same player he was. So I think Arteta's been very smart of just protecting him, bringing him in. He's going to play a lot of games this season because we've got a lot of competition in the Champions League, Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup. So he'll get a lot of minutes. He'll get minutes when required. He'll get minutes. But I think he just has to be patient. Same with Lewis Skelly as well. I think Lewis Skelly hasn't played a lot of games either recently, like a lot of minutes. Like last season, he played almost every game. This season, I think Calafiori is the number one left back right now, the first choice left back right now. But if I'm Lewis Skelly, I'm looking at this. I think he can learn from Calafiori and become an even better player. I don't think he has to worry about minutes because he'll definitely get minutes in his team. There'll be some games when the manager decides to rest Calafiori and bring in Lewis Skelly. So I can even play him in midfield as well, like a DM in midfield as well. So he just needs to be patient, work hard in training every day, show the manager what he can do, and he'll get minutes as well. So I'm not really worried about them two young players at the moment. I think that Ranieri will get minutes and Lewis Skelly will get minutes as well.
Yeah, but it just seems very weird. Obviously, they played quite a well. Especially, I'm gonna talk about more Skelly here. He played insane amount of minutes last year, given the Calafiori injuries. He didn't want to play Zinchenko there, Kivior. He didn't want to play there, so he was pretty much the only option. And credit where credit is due, he was quite fantastic. Nobody expected of him what he did, obviously, against Real Madrid and everyone else as well. It was quite crazy to watch. I'm not gonna lie. And but Yeri also, yes, he played quite a bit of minutes, but if you look how much minutes overall on the paper looks decent, somewhat decent. I'm not gonna say amazing, but they look somewhat decent. But if you look on average, it's not the greatest. He just because the games there were games where he played full 90s, right? It was Carabao Cup games like Preston's and all these teams. He played like half, or when Odegaard got injured, he came on and played. But overall, he didn't actually play that much. He played quote unquote microwave minutes. Let's just put it that way for the last 5-10 minutes, which you kind of can get it. But at the same time, given how much we struggled in the attack last year, and we still do now, actually, he actually was one of the bright sparks that actually did something in the attack compared to other players. For me, that is a bit baffling. Obviously, as you mentioned, you don't want to overplay the young players. You mentioned Owen with his ACLs and what happened to him, like his career was done pretty much by 26, and he obviously had those glimpses of greatness once again, but they quite quickly disappeared just because he just couldn't maintain the level anymore. At the same time, if you look at other youngsters, like the prime example, Lamine Yamal, Desiree Doué, and players like that, they play pretty much game in, game out, and they are actually somewhat decent. They're playing very high level, very good they play. They're carrying their team. They're carrying their national teams. Like, I think that Arteta needs to find the right balance. But it feels like with Arteta, his way of balance is either it's just you play a lot and then you don't play at all, pretty much. There is not like there's no consistency. Like, for example, every game you play 20 minutes, every game you play 30 minutes, or every other game you play a bit more. For Arteta, you play, let's just say, 3 games, and then for 3 games you don't see the pitch whatsoever. I think that is a bit frustrating, at least from fans' point of view, looking at how good, for example, Martinelli, for example, how Ranieri is and how Skelly is looking. And
Yeah.
you also touched upon Calafiori, right? I'm not gonna say my opinion on Calafiori.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably, I don't know if you know or you don't, based on the group chats or everything and stuff like that. But what
Mm.
are your assessments on Calafiori so far? Obviously, he was injured quite a bit last year, but overall, for what you have seen so far, he hasn't been injured at the moment, so that has been great for us, obviously, with the depth of the rotation. But your thoughts on Calafiori, the signing of £45 million player for Arsenal?
I thought he had a good Euros when he had a good Euros last summer. He had a good Euros. I thought he had a decent Euros. He played very well. Um, at the time, I think Arteta was wanting to. We still had Kieran Tierney at the pub, and we still had James Jenko at the pub as well. But he decided he wanted to spend 45 million on Calafiori. I thought, okay. When he came in, scored an absolute screamer against Man City in the game we drew 2-2 at the Etihad. We should have won that game. That's another game we should have won last season, but the referee and whatever cost us that game. Um, then he got injured. And it was in and out of the team last season. I think Lewis Skelly was the number one left back. He was in and out of the team. Couldn't get a rhythm out of him. Played one game, got international duty, gets injured. Was out for a while. Out for a while. But I think this pre-season he really came back stronger, fitter, less injuries, and he scored a good goal. He scored a good header against Man United, and he looks solid. And he's very good at set pieces as well. The thing that does is against him, he hasn't got pace. Lewis Kelly's got more pace than him, I would say, in that position. Um, he does tend to wander a lot sometimes as well, like as a left back. He doesn't really um what's the word? He will like the goal we conceded against Man City last week, he was in no man's land and then we got caught on a counter attack. But other from that, he's done well this season, to be honest with you. I can't fault him for anything else. He's been solid, good in the air, good from set pieces. So and I think right now he's pushing Skelly for spot in as the first choice right left back. But all can change. Form can get out of he can lose his form, could get injured. So as I said to you, Skelly's got a chance to get back into the team. So it's not a foregone conclusion that Calafiori is going to be the first choice left back for the whole season. Things could change very quickly. And you know how football is already. Football's a very short sport. One day you're number one left back, the next day, the next man will come and take your spot. So you got the other Haim Papier as well, who hasn't played any game and played one game for us in Champions League, got injured. He could be challenging Calafiori as well from place at left back. So right now he's played number one starting left back because the other two are not really in good form at the moment. But as soon as they get some form, it'd be a very interesting headache for Mikel Arteta to pick the team at left back and centre back.
Yeah, because yeah, like for me, Calafiori is a bit more. I kind of agree with you, but I also disagree personally because I think going forward, he's actually decent, very decent going
Mm,
forward. And one thing I don't, two things I don't like: the freedom Mikel Arteta has given him, because
mm,
he feels out of position more often than not. He feels like he plays striker, right wing, right back, number 6, number 8, left wing, and he spends more time there than actually in his natural position. Sometimes it feels like he gallops all across the pitch. And the other thing is that defensively, he is a bit suspect at times. Quite not quite at times, but quite a bit when he comes up against very technical at forwards. He gets like done quite too easily, at least for my taste personally. Looking at how much Gabriel sometimes has to overcommit to that left side just to cover his tracks and everything. And you just said against City, he was in no man's land. He was pushing up forward. It was his cross that led to that turnover in the end, why we conceded as well. And
mm.
he doesn't have the ability to track back. He doesn't have the pace in those terms. Obviously, Skelly is quicker, as you mentioned, but as well, he also doesn't have the pace, which it sometimes feels like our wingbacks are a bit slow
Mm.
on both sides of the pitch, going forwards and coming back. It feels like we need a bit more pace in those players. because for me personally, we don't have actually like out and out quick guys in the team. Besides, you could say Martinelli, Madueke, and maybe Gyökeres. Besides them, if you look at our players, how quickly they are, how fast they are, how quickly they can recover, it is a bit of an issue. Let's just put it that way, because as soon as it comes against quick, fast, pacey players, it feels like if they get done, we also gonna get done over. Let's just put it that way. But also that comes with the price, with the fact that we don't actually have fullbacks, do we? We have midfielders, center backs as wing backs, and maybe that is the biggest reason. Maybe that could also be the biggest reason why.
So who would you, if we had to sign like a specialist left back, who would you go for? Like what type of player would you go for as a proper left back? Like,
well, we used to have one. He left for free, unfortunately.
Kieran
We used to
Tierney.
have Kieran Tierney. Yeah, we used to have one, and Arteta refused to play him last year in his position. He played there on occasion, but I saw him more at left wing than left back at the time. Like that was also a weird one, because I don't know. It might be I might be old. I don't know, but it feels like we need some more specialists in the team in general, because we have players who can make shift in about 55 positions, all across the pitch. Like we have one let's just say midfielder who plays wing back, midfield, striker, wing. Havertz plays about 5 positions, Trossard 4, Saka plays, well, 1, but he actually should be playing more if Arteta actually didn't have a proper right wing. And we don't have enough specialists, because for me personally, the spine of the team at least should be specialists. But for obviously, goalkeeper is there, center backs are there, but our number 6 is not even a number 6. At least for me, Zubimendi, I think, could be more effective in the 8, and Rice would be in the 6 or center back. Striker, at least we have. Number 10, we have Eze. Odegaard, I don't know. Odegaard for me also doesn't strike me as a number 10. More of an 8, maybe if you push it.
Yeah.
But also it's a weird one. So I don't know. It might be just me. Do you think also we have too many Swiss Army knife type of players and not enough like specialists in out and out one positions?
I think so. I think it's the way Arteta likes his players. He wants to play multiple positions. I just said I think we're doing more specialist players who can play one position and very good at one position. Like somebody in midfield, like I know in the summer we brought in Norgard and we brought in Zubimendi, but the guy at Tottenham would have been a good one to buy, man.
Paulinho?
Paulinho would have been a good specialist number 6 for us.
Yeah.
He would have been decent in that midfield. He can tackle, he's a good passer, and he can add in goals to his game this season. I think he scored. Did he score yesterday? No, did he score yesterday?
Paulinho scored yesterday. He scored.
He scored yesterday, and he scored against Man City as well in the big game. So he would have been. When we play them, he's the guy we need to watch out for in that midfield. So yeah, I thought that we need. I know we got rid of Thomas Partey in the summer. We won't talk about that too much, but we never really replaced them with a proper guy that could do what he did in that midfield.
Yeah, that's also the case. We wanted Paulinho a few years ago as well, and we didn't get him. And Paulinho, whenever he has played against us, he has gotten the best of us, whether it was at Fulham or anything. I still remember that header against 10-man Fulham when we drew against them at Emirates 2 seasons ago, I think it was. Like when Partey was at right back and everything. It was weird. Paulinho always has that ability, and I think against Spurs, I think he could be the one that could actually decide the game. Maybe not by goals, but definitely by the midfield situation. That could be a very tough one. Yeah. See, also Cash, Hall. There's Robinson from Fulham. There are quite a few. Ola Aina, Tyreek Mitchell, and everything. There are quite a few fullbacks we could get out and out fullbacks for the team. I'm not saying I'm not happy with, for example, Timber as a right back. I think more of a left back situation going on there, personally. Like Aina, like that spot for me is a weird one. Big up Mark. What do you guys think about the fact that he went back to a 4 at the back when we made 1-1 at the end? For me, it was clear that he wanted to keep the score, but the players were looking for the win. I got that feeling as well. If I'm not
Mm,
mistaken, you said that he just went for the win, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the players went over his head and said, "No, we're gonna go out there and go win this game." Maybe you're right. Maybe he did go for the draw, thinking, "No, we're not gonna win this game." But I think the players went over his head and said, "No, what we're gonna go for the win."
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, if I remember this correctly, when he made the substitutions,
Mm,
I need to find this somewhere. When he made the substitutions, he subbed off a left back in Calafiori for a forward, and we went to a sort of a three at the back,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Rice. I think they put Rice. Who did Calafiori come off for? Calafiori came off for
Martinelli,
Martinelli. No, Martinelli came off for Saka.
then Merino.
Yeah, he brought on Marino for was it
Yeah.
yeah,
Odegaard came on for Zubimendi. Martinelli and Merino came on for Calafiori and Saka.
yeah,
Yeah, we went to a three at the back pretty much. We went to a
yeah,
three at the
three at the
back.
back.
We scored,
Yeah,
yeah. And as soon as we scored a goal, pretty much a few minutes later, Skelly came on, and we went back to
mm,
four at the back.
yeah,
And I think he played for a draw, and that for me is one of the most annoying things because they were tired. You could see that they could be there for the taking. Yes, they tried to hit us on counters. Murphy almost got one on over us, but Declan Rice tracked it back. And we were vulnerable with the three at the back and in general to a counter. But you could see that they also were there for the taking. But the fact that we
definitely.
switched, which we played three at the back, which or five at the back. It depends how you shift it in the game. For me personally, that was the only formation that brought him success to win the only FA Cup he has won at this club. It was five at the
Mm,
back we played, three at the back, and he switched to that during this game today, and it basically brought some fruit. Let's just put it that way. It got us the goal. But the fact that he instantly switched back to four at the back, I think in his mind, basically, he thought Liverpool have drop points. We get a draw, we get at least one. It's only 4 point gap. We get closer to them. Let's just put it that way. But I think that see him as well on the adrenaline, on the impact of the goal and everything, of the emotional rush. I think they just went for it, and you couldn't say anything less. But thankfully they did. Let's just put it that way,
mm,
because
definitely.
obviously it could also have backfired. You cannot deny also that, because if they hit one counter, it's
Yeah,
2-1 Newcastle. It's all doom and gloom instantly. It's a completely different stream, completely different talk and situation going on in the fan base. Let's be real.
of course, of course.
Yeah. Big up fusion. Call me stupid, but I still don't really know what is Havertz's natural position. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know as well. When he
I don't
played
know either.
for Leverkusen, you kind of could tell that he's like a free roaming 10 secondary striker type of thing, or a wing. He kind of was floating all around. But then he
Mm,
went to Chelsea. He had about four managers in 2 3 years. Nothing happened. He comes to Arsenal and he plays right wing, left wing, 10, striker, number 8. And you also sit here and scratch your head. Where does he actually need to play? Where is his natural position where we can get the best out of him? Let's just put it that way. Like that for me is also a weird one. Big up, Darren.
mm.
But yeah,
My question to you is like, would you sell him in the summer? This summer
oh,
coming, would you upgrade him in the summer and get somebody a proper backup centre forward to Gyökeres or someone to challenge Gyökeres in the team? Because he's on big wages, Kai Havertz.
285 a week. He's on 285. I would have sold him last summer and the summer before. To be honest, I wouldn't sign him in the first place, but
Mm,
we are not gonna get into that one. That has happened. Let's move on from that. But I would definitely would. If there is a possibility that we sell Havertz and let's just say get Mateta as a backup or
mm,
something like that, I would go for it
yeah,
100%. Especially if we also, from what I have read in the journals, journalists have posted and everything. If you believe them and can believe them, Arsenal are
yeah,
looking into potentially selling Jesus in January, and
hmm,
Havertz apparently has some interest from Bundesliga for the summer.
yeah,
If that is the case, and we can get off 550 grand a week in both of them in span of
Yeah.
few months, I'm all for it. I'm all for it
Mm.
because that opens up space for much bigger needed improvements in the team 100%. I would sell him in a heartbeat. Would you
Somebody
sell him?
who Havertz.
Yes.
I think his run is caught at the top now. I think he comes to a stage now where he's done all he can. He's not taken us over the line. I think it's time for us to move on. You got as a football club, you got to be ruthless. Um, you got to like, you can't be over loyal to players who are not delivering for us and on big wages. I think Bert has done a great job in the summer bringing in all these players and getting rid of a lot of the deadwood like Josenko, the Reece Nelsons, Fabio Vieira,
Yeah.
um,
Lokonga.
Lokonga, Tavares,
Yeah.
players like that. He's gonna clean up the decks now. I think it's a shame. I always think it's a shame what happened to Gabriel Jesus. When when he first came to Arsenal, he transformed us a lot. A lot of people don't remember that 22 season when he came into the team. Just before the World Cup, he scored a
Yeah.
lot of goals. He was doing very well for us. Then he got that serious injury in the World Cup, and it was never the same after that. Them two knee injuries have kind of finished him. Last season he had a little result, like he scored a couple of goals in the League Cup. They was doing
Oh, he
quite well
scored
in
a
the
hat trick
league.
against Palace. Then a week later,
Yeah.
scored against Palace in the league. 5 goals in
Mm.
about 3-4 weeks and got injured again. Like,
He scored against Brentford as well, away from home at Brentford's ground. And then he got injured against Man United in the FA Cup.
and
And
that's it.
now, yeah, I think we should move him on. It's a shame. I liked his as a player. I think he was a good player for us, but
Yeah,
like
he
I
would be
said,
nice on the moment as well. He would be a great
yeah,
winger to have with that trickery and the skill ability he has, everything.
mm,
Secondary striker, even. Maybe even in the 10, if you want to push your luck in that position as well to some extent. But he also overholds the position at times. But yeah, I
and
was. Yeah, go.
yeah. And him and Gokras will work well together as well. I think them two will feed off each other very well.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, I was a big fan of Jesus. I really expected something special to happen when he came to Arsenal, and he actually was doing very good for that first small chunk before the World Cup. The way we were
Mm,
playing football, the way we were moving, the way he was doing things. Obviously, you could see that he is not going to be the gunman who bags you 25 goals a season, 20 goals a
mm,
season, because he has never done it before. And you can see that his finishing touch is lacking on both feet. Let's just put it that way. But he actually made us move. We actually were moving with pace, with direction, with sharpness, and it felt like there could be something to it. And then
mm,
just one injury, then he gets rushed back because we were still in the title race. He
yeah,
got rushed back, 1-2 games, injured again, and pretty much after that, that has been all she wrote. Havertz comes in, Jesus doesn't recover, he comes back, it takes him a few games, injured again, and it's been an endless cycle of basically surgeries on knees and everything. I think he has messed up now both of his knees, if I'm not
mm,
mistaken, not just one. So I
yeah,
think his time at Arsenal is pretty much done. I think so. It's just a
yeah.
question: who would take him? Who actually would take him?
I'm hoping linked to Brazil, clubs in Brazil want to take him back to Brazil. I feel that'd be a decent move for him to go back home to Brazil. I think he could definitely that level of football in Brazil. I think he could definitely do something there. I don't know if he'll do well in another club in Europe because of his injuries. I think maybe Brazil would be best for him to go back home, start afresh, and enjoy the rest of his career in Brazil, rebuild his career again.
Yeah, 100%. Like for me, also, it was a weird move, but it was what, year and a half ago, I think it
Mm.
was. Arsenal got an offer about 40-45 million from Palmeiras for Jesus, and we turned it
Mm.
down when Edu
Yeah,
was still here at the time. And
yeah,
that for me was weird because he was injured for quite a bit. He didn't do much
mm.
when he came back. He got injured again, and we just didn't sell him. Like
Yeah,
for me, it's weird. I think it might be due to the fact that Arteta wants to win without a proper number 9, because this is the first actual striker we have signed.
mm.
If you looking that way, because Jesus is You can tell he's not a striker. He's something in between, like winger striker. Havertz definitely not a striker. All the strikers we have had, he has basically let them go.
Inherited them. Yeah, he
Yeah,
inherited them. Yeah.
yeah, Golden Boot winning Aubameyang makes him play left wing back. Then he wants to press, and Lacazette plays the number 6 role half the time, which again, everything goes down the drain. Then he lets go of
Yeah.
Mikel Chidobe Martin, Forlin Balogun. So technically, this is his first out-and-out number 9 he's trying to do things with. And given that it is his first number 9, dare I say, he doesn't know how. He's just, as people want to say, he's learning on the job. With the striker situation, he definitely is learning on the job to the big extent. And that, I think that could be one of the biggest reasons why Gyökeres might not be the one we all want him to be. He just won the best striker in the world award, the Gabriel award in Ballon d'Or ceremony. And until Arteta figures this out, whether he's going to be here, whether Arsenal going to give him enough time even to figure this out, to be honest, I think he might not see any trophies anymore, to be honest. Arsenal might not see any trophies. I think Gyökeres must play a key role in this equation of Arsenal winning trophies. The question is, will it be too late when he actually starts to click, like properly for Arsenal, game in, game out? Because
Definitely.
For me, the big question is, will Arteta get the next season? Because next season is his last year of his contract. If we don't win anything this season, will our Arsenal give him that one last year, that one last chance to basically prove himself? Because
Well, he spent over £1 billion now on
yeah,
players,
exactly.
and he can't. It's
He
a
has
hard
nothing
one
to show
because
for it. Yeah,
nothing to show. One FA Cup to show for it, and that was Emery's team as well. That wasn't his team. That's
yeah,
Emery's
that was
team.
before spending all the money. Exactly.
Yeah, I love to succeed at Arsenal because he's had this project for a while now, and then if we get a new manager, we have to start all over again. It's like that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, but also you could argue that Arteta has done enough that for another manager to come in, they don't have to do much. You could also put it that way. Because
Yeah,
for me personally, I'm going to sit here and stand on this hill and die on this hill and say that this team is meant for attacking, no matter how you want to spin it. Personally, for me,
yeah.
not this control defensive type of football. The other thing is, I think also we would be very, very resilient and very, very good in 3 at the back, like consistently playing them, because we have all the tools for center backs, for wing backs, for midfield, and also for the attack. But we all know that Mikel Arteta is not going to do any of those.
Yeah.
So that for me is the biggest thing. Personally, if you know from the chats, I'm Arteta out for quite a while at the moment. I want him out, and that it is what it is. Let's just put it that way. How much time are you giving Arteta? Or are you as well, Arteta? Goodbye.
This season,
The last one.
if we don't win anything,
So if he wins Carabao Cup, he stays.
I think he has to win more than that.
More than that. So
2 trophies. So if he wins the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, I would say give him one more season and see what he can do. But I feel that it's come to the stage now where we need to win trophies. I know Saliba said we didn't gonna sign a new contract, but Arsenal's a big club. I've grown up watching Arsenal uh, in the past win big trophies like Premier Leagues and FA doubles and stuff like that. I've never won a Premier League for a long. Last time I won a Premier League was 2004, the Invincibles. It's way too long. It's way too long, and I think it gets to a stage where we've watched Chelsea win the league, we watched Liverpool win the league, we watched Man United win the league, we watched Man City win the league. All these teams win the league. We've seen Man City win trebles. We've seen Man United win trebles. We've seen Chelsea win 2 Champions Leagues and 2 Europa Leagues and Club World Cups. Where's our
yeah,
trophies? It's frustrating because they've gone ahead of us in terms of massive trophies in London, and we're the biggest. Arsenal is one of the biggest clubs in London, but other teams have taken over us. Even Man City. Nobody was talking about Man City 20 years ago, but the last decade or so, last decade and a half or two, they've won so many trophies, and it's like we've fallen behind in terms of trophies. Won a couple of FA Cups here and there, yeah, under Wenger, but um, it's gone to a stage now we can't rely on winning FA Cups. We need to win big trophies like Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, even get to the Champions League final. Like last season was our biggest chance to get to the Champions League final. I know PSG, they're the winners in the end, but I thought if he had done something different in that game, I just said about Ethan Wanyeri, a game like that last season, he could have come on and done something. That's what my frustrations are with the
Yeah,
team. Like we got so close, beat the mighty. They beat the champions last season, Real Madrid. They were the champions the season before. We beat them home and away. We beat them in their backyard. And teams don't go to Real Madrid, the Bernabeu, and win at the Bernabeu. We went there and beat them at the Bernabeu. And then we go to PSG at home, playing some stupid football. I don't know what kind of football we're playing that day. Lost the game 1-0. Second leg we got battered. I still think of that Saka chance to make it 2-1, 2-2. Remember the Saka chance when he had an open goal and he missed?
yeah,
They crossed it in and he missed the open goal. Things like that, you think, oh, if only. And they go to the final and batter Inter Milan 5-0
yeah,
on PSG. So last season for me was a very frustrating season for me because it was an opportunity for us to win a trophy and we didn't win it. And then this summer we spent a lot of money on players, so we need to win something big this season. That's how I feel about that.
yeah. And that is also the case because we are, based on trophies, third biggest team in England, no matter how you
Mm,
look at it still. But
yeah.
based on the last few years and last decade even, Chelsea are only 2 trophies behind us. It's overtaking
Mm,
us. City are
yeah.
about 5 or 6 or something like that behind us in
Mm,
overtaking us. So it's not that far off that we not going to be anymore the third biggest club in England just based on trophies. We will fall down in pecking order, no matter how you look at it. And
definitely.
and you mentioned all the clubs that have won trophies, and you have to watch right now Newcastle win trophies. Leicester City have won
Mm,
FA Cup, Premier League. They have won in this time. Glasner comes in at Crystal Palace, wins FA Cup against City, wins Community Shield. Obviously, it's a different story about Community Shields, but still beats Liverpool. Then you can see
mm,
him beat Liverpool once again. In the span of one and a
yeah.
half months, he beats Liverpool twice, which we
Mm,
cannot do even, to be honest. And we are sitting here. We are 6 years deep in this process, and we are. Wenger had a 9-year trophy drought. Arteta is
mm,
in a 6-year trophy drought. We are 67% through this already. Wenger
yeah.
had some credit in the bank at least at the time. Arteta has no credit in the bank if we compare these two managers.
Mm,
So I think this might be the be all end all for Arteta. Unless he wins, it's done.
mm,
At least from I think from Josh's and Berta's and Stan's and everyone's point of view, at least the
mm,
way I see it.
mm,
And for me personally, I want him out for the longest time. But since
yeah.
he's here, for me personally, Carabao Cup is not enough. As much as I won the trophies, I'll be happy that I win the trophies. But after a billion, almost 7-year process and all this stuff, one Carabao Cup is not enough.
Definitely
Uh,
not.
Cup double, there then would be massive asterisks by that Cup double. Carabao Cup, FA
Mm,
Cup, quite heavily depends, arguably, how we finish the league, for example. Very heavily
yeah.
depends. Let's just say if we lose on last game week on point difference or something like that, okay,
Mm,
cool. Maybe I can accept that. But for me,
yeah.
one of the majors is a must. And given the fact that we have never won Champions League, it has to be Premier League, I guess, in those terms.
Mm,
But obviously, time only will tell. Time only will tell. But one last question before we wrap this up: Do you see Arteta getting the boot mid-season. That's for some sort of situation. Let's just say December, New Year about to happen, January window close. We are 10 points behind Liverpool, third in the league, fourth in the league. Do you see Arteta getting booed in any way, shape, or form during the season? Not after it, but during it specifically.
We have to be very struggling very badly for that to happen. But I don't think Arsenal sacked managers mid-season. I don't know what we sacked with Emery, but he was having a poor run. I think the reason why we sacked Emery because it wasn't because of the season started season we lost. I think we sacked him because of the Europa League final. We got battered against Chelsea. Remember the Europa League final against Chelsea? We got battered 4-1 in that final.
Yeah.
The Baku final, I call it.
Baku again, yeah.
And then the next season he struggled in a couple of games or very struggling in the table, and then he got rid of him and brought in a couple of intern managers, and then he brought in Arteta. I thought that we need to continually get Champions League football for the revenue and challenge for the title. And if we're 10 points behind Liverpool by the time the January window comes, serious questions have to be asked of the manager. Serious questions. Would they sack him mid-season? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's a hard one to tell because he hasn't been under that pressure yet from the board to say that, you know what, they spent all this money, we need to win something now, and you're way behind expectations. Because I'm sure the board is given expectations this season. Josh Kroenke, Stan Kroenke, Berta said, you know what, we backed you the money, we brought all these players in. We want a top 2 finish, win a Premier League title would be great. Win a Champions League, get as far as we can in the Champions League, semi-final, final, or something. And if it doesn't meet them requirements, then I feel it could be bad by Arteta.
Yeah, because Arteta as well in the end of the season speech, as he calls it, he said, "Don't be settled for second, and every year we want to go one step forward." For the last 3 seasons, we have finished second in the league. So the one step forward is, well, winning the league. Let's just put it that way. For the Carabao Cup, the next step is being in the final. For Champions League, we were in semi-final, so the next step is, well, being in the final. An FA Cup, well, we lost to 10-man Man United, that is one of those I never want to remember ever in my life anymore, to be honest, but hey. But yeah, going one step forward, improving one step forward right now for this season based on all the previous seasons is winning the league and getting at least to finals pretty much in every competition we are in. And those are his words himself.
And it can be done, but he has to be less stubborn and let the break off, as they say.
Yeah. Handbrake kid.
Handbrake kid, yeah. Handbrake.
WWE settings, HBK. Handbrake kid.
Handbrake kid, yeah.
But yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Olympiacos next few days. When is the Olympiacos? October 1st, right?
That's Wednesday.
Or is it the 1st of October or 30th? It's October 1st. Yeah.
Yeah, 1st of October, Wednesday.
1st of October.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, we have West Ham. And then we have international break. We have 2 more games in international break.
Yeah. I don't like international break, honestly. Yeah. It spoils the rhythm on the Premier League. It spoils the rhythm for us as well because when we come back, we always seem to struggle.
Yeah, and to be honest, after international break, I would say it's hell for us. We have Fulham away, Atletico Madrid at home, and that's going to be rough. Then we have Crystal Palace at home, depending. And of course, then are the November games, which we talked about earlier in the stream. We have the Burnleys, the Chelseas, and Spurs, and Slavia Pragues, and all this stuff away most of the games. It's going to be rough. But one game at a time, as Andrew is saying. Olympiacos next. Let's see what Wednesday brings. But yeah, big up Craig for coming on. Big up to you. Big up.
No worries.
You have a channel? Because I know you have a channel, but I don't know if you upload on it as much. Let's just put it that way.
I have a channel called me and my brother, my friend. We have a channel called One Clip from Glory on YouTube. We do a podcast, a weekly podcast, every week. Um, we kind of taking a little break at the moment. We're going to be filming again this week again. So yeah, we do a weekly podcast, football podcast.
Okay, people. So I'm gonna put that in the comments of the stream. I'm gonna put also in the title. So go, people, subscribe. Go show some love, people. And yeah, big up to you for coming on. Like, it was
No
kind of out
worries.
of blue. I didn't expect that, but big up to you. Thank you for your time, to be honest, because I think it's very late already. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Big up to you all, people. Like and subscribe. And for today, we're gonna be signing off. So take care. Stay safe. Arsenal have won a game. We have beaten Newcastle finally. We have closed the gap to 2 points, and let's see what Champions League brings during the week. Peace out, people.